Hey, Anthony here from the Best in the West. Thank you for tuning in to another custom concrete video. This is in Gardena, California. It's a very interesting video because I started a whole new lane in what I do and the way I market myself with these custom floating steps and stuff that people don't seem, there's no competition for me. I'm the only one who bids them. But what happened here was the guy had contacted me and someone had, I believe, poured it maybe about a week prior, and they poured it all in one pour, and they locked all the forms in. So I told him to have them demo it out, and money will fix his problem. And he said, "Yeah, you're right." And they demoed it out. It saved him 5, 6 grand. So at least they did that. But the whole job was a complete mess. They didn't face all the forms and take them off, strip it that day. The boards were locked in. I have a picture of it. So we're trying to lay this out because this is very interesting house. When you come to a house and you're doing a porch and you have certain elevations you can't change, like the floor inside the house you have to go off of, the sidewalk, the street, the driveway. You have elevations that dictate what you can and can't put. So we were trying to get 3 steps in here, but what was very unique about it was the header above Javier right there was so low. When the guys poured the other floating steps, they had the porch come all the way out, and there was only 5'7 3/4" clearance, or you'd hit your head on that header. So if you're over 5'8", you're going to bang your head every time you come in and out. So we had to shorten the porch, make it a step where you go down and then come up around it on the other side of it, which there's about maybe 76 inch, maybe 6'4", 6'3" clearance, but that's all as we could get. And that right where Milton said in that forum, we extended that whole porch to make it where you could hang out there, and it's got lights underneath it. So this job's lit. When you guys see this, it's different level, and that's I've done something really unique. I planted the seed years ago with the floating steps when I was trying to figure out which narrative and what I was going to specialize in. And I picked a couple wrong videos, like the stairs way to heaven or the concrete bench, but there wasn't that. But everyone's getting their front yard done because their entryway, it's curb appeal. The house goes up a couple 100 grand in California. So this is the route I went, and it's really taken off. I'm getting a lot of calls from landscape designers. I'm looking at one in Brentwood, Beverly Hills next week, and then I'm doing a driveway in Long Beach. So I got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. And Javier's figured out what we can and can't get. We thought we could get the porch, a nice floater, and then a third floater after that, but we can only get 2 in there. But we floated the front porch also, so it's all lit up. It looks amazing. Light broom on this. This is the look we're doing. Lately, we've been brooming them. Top cast looks good too. You got to really know elevations, and you want the minimum fall off of these, just so water runs off, so it looks good from the street. This turned out amazing. So this is West Coast's specialty at this point. No one else can do them, or they'd be doing them. Everyone says they can, but they do everything but do them and post them. This is the fourth or fifth set that's been ripped out that I repoured. And they had watched my videos after they hired the guy, and the lady, his friend that lived around the corner that did a lot of designing, her name was Rosie, and his name was Corey. He was a Vietnam vet. So I felt really bad for the guy. He's such a nice guy, and his neighbor Rosie was helping out design it, and she was really knowledgeable. She had watched about 5 or 6 of my videos, and she knew that you couldn't pour it in one pour, but they insisted it on that you could, and they just screwed the whole thing up. It's just you can't gamble thinking you could do it trying to make money on somebody else's house, you know. Do it somewhere else and do like a mock pour or something to see if you know how to do it and strip it. You cannot pour these all in one pour. It's every other step. And you leave the 4x4 and you strip all the perimeter, you strip everything on it. This is number 3 rebar. We're just putting it in to keep it all tensile strength as one piece. And there's 4-inch gaps in between from stepping down out of the house to the driveway. And he's going to put black rock in there. He's got a Japanese maple coming in the front yard. There's a couple sagos. It's going to look really nice. I'll be back to film the one in Carlsbad I did and this one once all the landscaping's done, because they're really designed really nice. And I'm doing one probably in Brentwood coming up next. A lady from Seattle contacted me in there, and I'm going to go look at it coming up. Come fly with the Eagle West Coast. Soar as high as you can go. If you believe in yourself and you're confident in what you do, You kind of have to be obsessed to be great at something in some sense. You got to keep with it. You know, if you're good at something and you want to be great at it, you just got to put more time into it and keep thinking it out. That's my rig there. That's my boy Victor. He does all the lights for me. So I brought my pump. This is about 30 minutes from my house. I'm south in Orange County. This is in Los Angeles. Easy day for me. It's about 4.5 yards, I believe. And then the second pour is just one step because we only got one step out of it. But to have a pump, if somebody doesn't have a pump and doesn't pump their concrete, don't even waste your time watching them or hiring them because if they come to California, they would get laughed out of here. You can't. The reason why all these people with this new cement and stuff can't keep up, it takes them an hour and a half to place it, and that's not even a load. That's like 7, 8 yards. It's absurd. At some point, you got to figure it out and see what pump works in your area. Invest in a pump, especially if you're going to do it for your career, and this is what you do. And then when all the other contractors see you doing it, they'll hire you too. You can get $800, $900 a load to pump on the side and then go to your job. I mean, I would be so loaded in a different state, it'd be crazy. But I'm in paradise in Cali. I live on the beach, so to get me out of here would take a lot. And a lot of people think, oh, he doesn't work or he's at the beach, this or that. I make money off YouTube, TikTok. I do a lot of consulting. I have other streams of income. So I don't literally have to work all the time, pick one up and make, 10, 20 grand real quick. And I go do my thing, whatever I do. I have another stream of income, which I'm going to switch gears and go back to doing long form videos and lives. So I'm going to show, depends what people want. I was thinking about the demos live and explain my strategy and how I go about it, and then going live on the fours. Because to be honest with you, I'm making stuff how to do floating steps and I'm selling it. So on the setup, I can't give up 100% of the information because I'm going to get paid for it. This is what I do for a living. I give up a lot of information. So that's a slump we're using. We wanted about a 5. Um, Came out sweet. This is a city mix, a 3250. I've been using this a lot more often because it just bleaches quicker. Within 3 days, it's bleached out. It's the mix the city uses. They don't have any shading, spotting. You know, they'll try and the concrete plants will run the narrative that, oh, you put a steel trowel and trap the water and that's why it's shaded. But when you use a city mix, it doesn't matter when you trowel it, it doesn't shade. So I'm pretty sure it's fly ash. So I don't pour with it. But they probably use slag in this city mix. So I got 3 finishers, full-fledged finishers, and a helper. That's Big Kevin right there. He helps me with everything when he's out there. He's like the eyes on my back. He helps me with everything. So does Javier. They're always with me, whatever I do. That's Loverboy. We went live on this job. That's Corey. That's the homeowner. He was in Vietnam. Really nice guy. He worked in the movie industry for 30, 40 years. The guy had this house and he just bought it a couple years ago and he's really putting a lot of money into it. And he kind of got set back with what happened and they had to tear it out. But I told him, Corey, money can fix your problem and it'll go away. And you have the right guy here where you can guarantee I'll deliver. And he 100% confident and said, you're 100% true. His shoulders went down. He relaxed and he knew that he could trust me and I was going to deliver it. And I did, as always. But now I'm starting to get drawings from landscape designers. So I'm going to start looking into doing that stuff for them, their drawings. I don't have to design it. I'm just doing theirs. Hopefully I get the one I bid Tuesday. It's a good one. These are about, with no demo, these are about 23, 24,000 to do this. You could get 26. Guy had a problem. He already shelled out a bunch of money. So I took like 3 or 4 grand what I would normally get because it's a video and I still made money and all my guys went to work. Sometimes it's not, you don't want to go out there and lose money or pay out of your own pocket, but you don't have to make a killing on every job you do. And every situation's different. There's a going rate, but with floating steps, there's not. I'm basically coming up with the path of how to go about it and what to charge. I've done so many of them now. I could just look at it and say that's just say 21,000 or 25 or 19. I could just look at it and tell you what it is without measuring anything or doing anything to it. I've done so many because you can't like show up to a driveway and it's 800 square feet and you do it per square foot in your area, say $20, 25 a square foot, 15, whatever number you want to use. You can really bid it in 30 seconds. It's general math. But with this, you can't do it that way. You can't do it by square footage or how many yards. This is like 4.5 yards, and you're talking like 24,000, 25,000. You can go up to 30,000 with the lights. It's probably 30. Yeah, it's 30. It ends up being about 5,000 a step, and then the lights seem to be about 1,000 a step installed with the high end lights and the timer and the whole bit. That's what it seems to be coming out to. That's what it's been the last five in a row. But as far as someone coming in bidding against me, I asked this guy who's bidding against me. Nobody. Carlsbad, nobody. Brentwood, nobody. Though, well, they had about four other bids in Brentwood, and then the designer saw me the day before they were going to pick someone, and the homeowner was on vacation. They sent him the video, and he said that's the guy. He called me direct from his vacation, and we set up a meeting for this week. So we'll see what happens. I had to get up there and just shovel it down in there because it's set up in his. You always want to clear the chute before you wash, because if you wash out a hopper and you get water and then he blows that down in there and then it's still dirty. You got to wash out more than 90 gallons if you do it that way, probably 120. So this way, I just run 90 gallons to it. You can see how clean that is. There's just some pea gravel up in my manifold that I'll hose out. You don't even have to do that. That's just how I do it because I've done it this way since the beginning when I started pumping and I taught myself. I was never trained by anyone. I had never pumped with anyone before. So everything I do is a little bit kind of different. It's the same result. You're pumping concrete, but some people do things different. I had just never seen anyone do it. So once I had done it for like 2 years before saw other pumpers and were friends with a bunch of those guys and went on jobs with them and stuff. But they were a lot more panicky than I am. I don't really care. I don't have a problem at all. I don't trip out if it plugs up, or I don't get all weird or freaked out and yelling and cussing. It's pretty easy for me, really, if it plugs up or I have an issue. I mean, I've had some major episodes when you're washing out and it plugs in the manifold and you got a problem. My God, because you have to unplug at the manifold. It's water with concrete. It's gravity. It's coming out. What are you going to do to stop it? It's like a broken dam. You just got to contain it with sand or dirt or sandbags in front of the house and then back it up and get rid of it that way and then clean everything and, make it look pristine again. So we're sealing this up really quick. Milton Jr.'s already putting a Fresno on it quick, and they're still bull floating the other side. The wooden bull float keeps it open. The metal Fresno will seal it up. So they're sealing it up. Bleed water's done. We're going to be doing a waiting game on this so they can start edging and troweling. There's Javier. See, here's the setup. It's got the walkway the driveway, then the step, and then the second step we leave open. We got to come back the next day, pull the 2x4 in front. These are the walk behind edgers we use. They're really nice. They cut it really perfect. You need some weight to it. It cuts it perfect. So we're putting a band on the porch because of where the joints go anyway. Because rule of thumb, 99 out of 100 times, it's going to crack off that, or 95 out of 100, it's going to crack off one of those corners of a pole. Always a corner. You want to put a joint. So we got Milton Jr., Senior, and Javier and Kevin with me today. This is Javier here. No one on YouTube. I mean, this guy could give lessons to these people on here. He's that good. And I pumped for 20 years, so I've seen every finisher you've ever seen. That's why when I see people and what they're doing, it's like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. This is a high end doing it, but California has a market for this. We edge everything. You don't see anyone else that edges and strips the same day. All West Coast does this. It's got to be flawless. It's got to be beautiful. And that's what they get. You pay for what you get. And there's a standard out here. Like if you didn't face this and you just pull the forms the next day, you're going to get called out on it by the homeowner, 100%. They're going to make you rip it out. They know. People are very educated about concrete and all the trades out here. You should hear the homeowners talk because of social media now, so they can watch. Like the lady watched me and she told the guys that were doing it, you can't pour it one pour. And they said, oh, yeah, you can. And oh, no, you can't. Trust me, they tore it out. I have a picture of what this looked like, but it was just a special customer. And his neighbor Rosie was such a nice lady. It was just awesome working with him. I just wanted it to come out perfect for him, and he can move on and do the landscaping. And he's doing his whole backyard. He's got a lot going on here, so I want to get it done as soon as possible and have it come out to what he wanted. And you always want to put sand in when you form those up like that, because if concrete billows up under it and gets in the middle, you're not pulling those forms. You're in for a nightmare. These come right out if you do it the way I do it. I just buy bags of sand, or I have sand I load on my truck, on my, excuse me, my dump trailer, and I just pack it in there. You can see it if you look at it good in the gaps. There's sand in there. Here's the broom we're putting on it. Milton's brooming it up. These just came out amazing. The night we got the night shot, I went back the whole bit, like I always do. This will be another return video for me. I got a couple I got to return. Next video will be a big driveway. There's a broom on it. I mean, it's just a light broom. It's perfect. There's no freeze or doesn't rain but 13 inches a year. You don't need a heavy broom and broom it when it's wet for traction. You just need a little tread out here. It's fine. You see the porch where we could bring it out. That's as far as we could bring it out because of that header. And the header screwed up our whole design. But there's nothing you can do about it. You can't raise the house up, you know? And that was a structural beam going across. It's holding the whole front of the roof, so there's no way anyone's going to mess with that to put an extra step in. If we had more height, we would have had 3 steps. And this porch was really small, and other guys who did it had a planter behind it. And I said, "Hey, Corey, wouldn't you want to utilize it? Because the wind comes in there every day around 2 or 3, and you could sit on that porch and have some coffee or something and watch YouTube, whatever you're doing." It was just beautiful. And you got to broom the face. Whatever finish you do, and you face everything, you got to do that finish on it. If you do a top cast finish, they have top casts that you can spray in the wood, and then when you pull it, it'll give it that finish. Or you could sandblast the wood too, the forms, and then when you pull it, it has a top cast finish. Because when you sandblast it too, you can't do a vertical like that. It doesn't work. You can only do the flat work. Look at this perfection. This is one dialed company. If you want to watch a high-end concrete channel, this is it. A lot of information. It's about the work. It's not about showing people or whatever. It's just about what I do. It's customer based. And it's paying off big time financially for me. It's only getting better and better. Here's the second pour here. It's I ordered a yard and a half. It's not even a yard. And the dude got a little too wet. I told him make it a 5, but he made it piss wet. I told him put 1 gallon in it, 2 gallons, and that's what we got. But this is a city mix. It's a 3,500 psi. It's super rich. It hung up a little bit. The other stuff cracked 2 hours we were done. This was just, yeah, I don't know. When you have a yard and a half, it's very hard to get it the sump you want. It's generally way too dry and won't even go into your screen or come down the chute. And then you put 2 or 3, and then it just loosens like this, and it's just piss wet. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of deal with that. So I didn't order a yard. I just said bring me a yard and a half because I thought I could get the slump better. But I should have went up on the ladder and done it with those myself. Live and learn, you know. So here's our second floater. That's Victor Delgado. He does the lights for me. You guys can check him out on Instagram. He's using a stake to get the distance of how far to the edge, which is a perfect gap, is that stake. Because we have done them and put them too far back. There's a placement for those. And if you put it too far to the edge, it'll crack through. So that seems to be the perfect distance. And make sure you use microfibers in your mix when you're doing stuff like this. And if you're Midwest or East Coast, I think you want a 4,000 psi. You can use a pea gravel mix. And you could probably do a rougher number 15 top cast that exposes a little bit of aggregate for traction too, not just the sand. Would be probably really good for it'd be a number 15 top cast finish. Number 3 is what we use out here as a sand finish. But if I was in a different state in the freeze or whatever, I'd probably use a 15. I don't like the full exposed aggregate look, especially on something this detailed. but a sand finish is good. Yeah, that supports what we could get with that beam above. I think on the night shot, you guys will be able to see how low that beam actually is, that header. And there's not much you could do about it. Here's the edging tools. We get all these at Roseboro. They're in Santa Ana, or Fantastic Tools in La Habra are the two places where most of these guys buy their tools. A lot of Roseboro. So if you're in a different state and you guys want to start facing and edging it, just go on the website at Roseboro and buy them there. You'll bring something new to your area. It looks so bad when these guys strip stairs and steps, and that's the upper tool. That's works so sweet. When they don't edge it and face it like that, it's got to be anything exposed has to be finished. I don't know how you can justify not finishing it. It's a timing issue, and the more time you have, the better your job's going to be. That's why everything in California is pumped. There's no buggy, there's no wheelbarrowing. Nobody in their right mind would do that. These guys are basically just laborers that you see on here posting. That's all it is. They're like 50-something-year-old laborers that they should have figured it out years ago and switched gears, you know. But if you take care of your family and you make money on it, you can do what you want, but the longevity is what you got to think about. A back surgery, I've never seen anybody who it helped. So if you do this stuff and you're a laborer for 30, 40 years, your back's going to go out. You have to consider that. It's not making fun of people or I'm a hater or anything like that. I'm just stating the obvious. I'm not a laborer. People want to ask me why I don't finish and why I don't do this and that. I own it. I'm the face of it. I walk up and they buy what I'm selling. Some of the richest people in the country buy what I'm selling. You get what I'm saying? I don't give a crap what some hillbillies say, why I'm not finishing. There's a finished product there. I mean, it's just lights out. When it's landscaped with the black rock and he's gonna put a Japanese maple, this is gonna look really good. What do you guys think of that? And the black rock in between is a great touch to it. There's a light under that step too, under that floater from the front porch. They had it inside the pole. They had the poles out in the dirt. The guys who poured it before, and I said, Corey, let's bring it way out so you can utilize it. It looks great with the lights in it. The lights with the dimmer at 30% are absolute money. It's the highest end work you're going to see. People and customers, I don't even got to say anything right when they call me. You're the guy, you're doing it. I already know. And if people are buying what you're selling, something you're doing is right. Check that look out. The kids and I went down there one day to the Ladybug restaurant. It was so good. And we hung out, wait for the sun to set. And we're just hanging out filming to get you guys a good view. That's probably 70% on the dimmer right there. There's the lights there underneath there. When they landscape it, all the dirt will be up underneath it. That's a really good look at it. Man, that looks awesome. I'm glad I could rectify this for Corey. I really liked him, and he had a bad situation, so it looks like I made it better for him. Generally, with this stuff, money can solve your problem. Other than that, the guy who did it's not going to solve it. He was incompetent in the beginning. It's getting a little darker there. Thank you very much for watching The Best in the West. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.